Outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, which ecosystems are you most excited about and why?
Is definitely a place that's seen massive user growth, massive hype, massive excitement. No, BlackRock is not part of the revolution. I really love the ecosystem. It's multi-billion-dollar coin that has the user metrics of a coin worth maybe a few hundred million.
What is your market top for Bitcoin?
The highest we could likely go this cycle is around maybe $1,000.
Okay.
Feels like wildly overvalued.
Okay, so I'm giving you 20 grand right now.
Yep.
Not Bitcoin, not ETH, not Solana. Where are you putting your money?
Gosh.
Marry, fuck, or kill?
Fuck, it's gotta be Charles, man. The beard. The beard, man. Come on, obviously.
Okay guys, welcome back. We are here in sunny Singapore on this amazing super yacht EAK VIP event, and obviously one of our VIP guests here, Lark Davis. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah. Okay, look, Lark, I mean, look, you know, you're a very well-known guy, very well-known KOL. Obviously people take what you say very seriously as gospel sometimes, you know, so you obviously have a lot of influence. So tell us, you know, what is going on in the market right now? I mean, we've had like nearly 6 months of chop. You know, like, where do you, in fact, you always tweet very bullish recently. In fact, you always give me FOMO, to be honest with you. You're like, you need to get it right now. But anyways, let's get to it. Like, I mean, you know, every market, they say it rhymes, but it's not the same.
Sure.
So if we stay on that narrative that's going to rhyme, like, where are we looking at? Get out your crystal ball. Like, where are we going in this cycle? Like, how is it going to surprise people? Take it away.
Sure. Look, no cycle is ever the same, right? As we obviously know.
Yeah.
But there are all these little things that just kind of click in one way or another. And the thing I always come back to with crypto, and people get very pessimistic sometimes in the market. I understand. Look, it's been a tough year, guys. We had this early top.
Yeah.
Barely. What Bitcoin went 5% over its previous all-time high, but basically nothing else except some random meme coin bullshit has gone up. And so you've seen Ethereum not really get that close. Solana came kind of close, but not that close. And so really it's been a Bitcoin-led market. We had this early move because of the Bitcoin ETFs. And ever since then, we've been in a downtrend for Bitcoin. And of course, that drags the entire market down. But this is, in a way, very reminiscent of what happened in 2019. Right, where we had this big rally in 2019. Lots of exciting stuff happened. Everybody got uber bullish. Then we just bled for months on end. And of course, we had the COVID crash and stuff, which was unforeseeable, but really wrecked markets. But now we've got the situation where we've been kind of bleeding sideways, essentially, downtrending, not massively, but downtrending for Bitcoin. Now we're 4 months post-Bitcoin halving. Historically speaking, around 6 months post-Bitcoin halving is when we start to see price really start to move. And when Bitcoin starts moving, it activates something I like to call number go up technology. Okay, so when Bitcoin gets over 72K.
I like the sound of that.
It's great. Number go up technology is everyone's favorite thing. It's the best technology in crypto, in case you guys haven't figured that out yet. So when Bitcoin starts moving over 72K, that breaks big time out from the downtrend. We start putting in new highs over 74K, of course. And then Bitcoin tends to move really fast when it breaks out. So we might go from 72, 74K up to like 95 to 100K in 6 to 8 weeks, for example, which is a pretty quick move for Bitcoin. So when that happens, when number go up technology is activated, Bitcoin's just the tip of the spear of the liquidity cycle. So it drags everything else up with it. So I'm looking at Q4 in Bitcoin halving years tend to be pretty good for markets. And we have so much other stuff lining up. We have global liquidity indexes going up. We have the M2 money supply going up. We have the rate cuts coming from the Fed, which as long as a rate cuts happens outside of a recession, folks, this is the key thing. Because you're going to see this chart posted 100 times. I've seen it 100 times on social media. Rate cuts are going to be super bearish and everyone's going to, this new Great Depression coming. And every time I see that chart, they leave out the 5 times or whatever in the past 30, 40 years that rate cuts have happened, and it's not been bearish because those rate cuts happened in a non-recessionary environment. So as long as there's not a recession in the USA, and currently there's no recession in the USA, guys, in case you haven't figured that out, there could be in the not so distant future, but it's not here yet, okay? As long as there's no recession, then we have a lot of great factors working for a good Q4 for Bitcoin.
Don't forget the elections.
The elections as well. As long as somebody doesn't get shot between now and then, then things should be pretty okay.
Yeah.
And if Trump wins, obviously that provides a very bullish narrative for crypto, because you got to remember, I know people get all triggered about politics and stuff like this, but you just have to look. There's a very stark contrast between the two candidates right now in America. Trump, massively pro-crypto. He's got J.D. Vance, who literally owns Bitcoin. RFK Jr. supporting him. He owns Bitcoin. Tulsi Gabbard owns Bitcoin.
I mean, President Trump literally did a Rug Radio space today. Did you see that?
I saw that. That's crazy. He's launching his own DeFi protocol.
Yeah.
The dude's been selling NFTs for years. He owns Ethereum. I mean, the former president of the United States, probably likely next president of the United States, literally owns Ethereum and sells NFTs and launching a DeFi protocol. Come on, people.
It's wild, yeah. It's wild.
Versus the other candidate who has been part of an administration that's been the most aggressive anti-crypto administrations in the history of crypto. So Q4's got a lot of very interesting bullish catalysts coming for us, and that could carry us into Q1 potentially of bullish momentum if that starts really kicking off. And that's when I could see potentially a first major peak in the cycle. And then depending on how the macro plays out for the rest of the year, maybe that's the final peak for the cycle. I hope not. I hope we get our sort of standard 4-year cycle. Let's say the 4-year cycle's the plan until otherwise proven, but I could see a major cycle peak coming in like, let's say March or April of 2025. And that might be at like 150K, for example. And that's when everyone could say we're bullish, we're going to 500K.
For example, what is your market top for Bitcoin in your crystal ball?
So I think the highest we could likely go this cycle is around maybe $215,000.
Okay.
You must be joking.
Maybe that like one day where we get up to like 250K for like 2 seconds, something like that. That's a possible.
I like the sound of that. You're mega bullish.
Top.
I mean, I spoke to Aaron from Altcoin Daily. He was saying 140. So you're pretty wildly bullish compared to that.
I've got time for the 140, 150 thesis.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very interesting level. So if you look at the Fibonacci levels, we go up, the Fibonacci retracement levels got 1.618, 2.618, 3.618. They come in at 100K, 150K, and basically $215,000 approximately, those levels. So any of those levels provide a very interesting area for potential, like that could be it for the cycle. Obviously, you need to look at other factors at the time. But 150 to 140K, I'd buy that. So the 215 is like top number, right? Like the most bullish I think the cycle could go, right? And that's a very dangerous number. If we do get to 200K, be careful, everybody, because that's when everyone's going to start pulling out 500K predictions, right? The number, we always move the goalposts.
Yeah.
And it's good to try to stick to some kind of a plan. And my thinking has been, I was talking about this with somebody earlier, is that when we go up to about 100K Bitcoin, I'm probably going to take some, maybe a quarter or a third of my altcoins off the table. Right? We go up to 150K.
Just the altcoins, not any Bitcoin.
No, not the Bitcoin. 150K, take a third of the altcoins off the table again. If we get up to 200K, sell everything else.
Copy that.
So just to repeat, you're only selling Bitcoin at 200K.
You know, I might not even sell the Bitcoin. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I've got an emotional relationship with my Bitcoin, and it's really hard to, sell it. I might just hold through the volatility and not worry too much about it.
I hear you.
But the altcoins, run for the hills, guys. Run for the hills, because here's the thing. Next bear market comes, right? Bitcoin might go down 50, 60, 70%, right? I'm ready for that. It's fine. But I don't want to hold a bunch of altcoins that go down between 70 to 99%. And a lot of them won't come back. A lot of them will not find narrative, especially throughout the bear market. Teams go broke, DeFi protocols break, hacks happen, all this stuff, okay? It's just not, the risk reward for holding this stuff is just not there. And the risk reward for selling it is definitely there. So you gotta take the profits, guys, or the market's gonna take them for you.
So look, obviously I know you're a Bitcoin guy, right? And we're seeing like Bitcoin ETFs, and we're seeing institutionals coming, and like somebody that also has been in the space a long time. Don't get me wrong, I love Bitcoin, but I feel like, is this all not just like get all Bitcoin OGs and stuff, like they're praising the fact we got ETFs. It's like, well, this is all going in the hands of like TradFi again, or governments, and I'm kind of like saddened by that. Even though the price is going to go up or make us more money, but like, is this really what the ultimate vision was? I don't think it was. What do you think about that?
No, BlackRock is not part of the revolution. BlackRock is the antithesis of the Bitcoin revolution. Right. The deal that we've made with Wall Street, and this is the thing, is it's anybody can buy Bitcoin, anybody can launch these ETF products. It's all part of the free and open market. It's fine. But they're not here for any sort of grander vision of personal freedom or anything like that. They're here to make a buck, and they see the huge potential for making a lot of bucks because they charge fees on people holding this Bitcoin. So obviously they want to partake in that, right? But if we see, and there's a risk, right? There's a risk because when the Bitcoin all starts going into the ETF products, if we see, let's say 25% over the next 10 years go into Bitcoin ETF products, that is very problematic for on-chain economies for the Bitcoin miners. So this is something that we have to deal with decades down the road. It's not an immediate concern, but that becomes a very real issue. If there's too much Bitcoin sitting in ETFs, not moving, not creating any on-chain transactions, on-chain fees to feed the miners, that becomes problematic because the Bitcoin rewards will only sustain for so long. You got to remember, I think it's 2032 or 2036. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's the halving when we start having less than 1 Bitcoin per block reward created, right? So that becomes a real issue. We'd either need $1 million Bitcoin by then, or we need a lot more economic activity on chain. There's a lot of people trying to make economic activity on chain happen. Okay, so there's a big revolution right now going on in terms of seeing stuff come to a Bitcoin ecosystem. We got Bitcoin layer 2s building and Bitcoin DeFi building and all this kind of stuff, but it's a long road because it's not as user-friendly as like Solana, man. Like there's a reason everyone's on Solana because it's user-friendly. It's super easy to use compared to like buying runes on Bitcoin, right?
There's like different addresses and, you know, it's very difficult.
A lot harder.
Even us, you know, who like knee deep into it. It's like, is that the right address or is it taproot 1, 2, 3? It's like...
It's tough. It's unnecessarily difficult.
Yeah.
Right? And that keeps a lot of the normies from aping in.
Yeah. Okay. So look, you mentioned Solana. So let's move into the altcoin sector. So obviously, like there's a lot of bullishness on Ton. There's a lot of bullishness on Base. There's a little bit of bullishness on Sui as well.
Yep.
Outside of Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol, which ecosystems are you most excited about and why?
I really love the Avalanche ecosystem. I think it's...
Avalanche.
Yeah, we've seen huge amounts. And look, there's a lot of great narratives for like Phantom, and their upcoming Sonic upgrade. Very interesting stuff going on there. The Telegram network, obviously very interesting. But I like Avalanche. I got a big bag of... Yeah, I've got a big bag of Avalanche, and they've been doing a lot of cool stuff. They've got gaming, they've got real-world assets, they've got all these things. And like, you look at the amount of stuff that they're delivering, it's actually really big. And I feel like to an extent they just haven't got that wild hype that like Solana and stuff has got, but they're definitely building in the right direction. So I think they could be, I know they're like a top 20 coin, so it's not exactly like a sleeping giant or anything, but in terms of maybe a better risk reward than buying Solana right now, probably Avalanche would be something to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely not being priced in anything you just mentioned at the moment. Avalanche price hasn't been performing very well. But like I know obviously there's a big narrative on crypto Twitter about unlocks and like, you know, VCs dumping. But then when you look at the last cycles, L1s, I think a lot of people are excited about Near because they got the AI pivot. Yep. And now Avalanche. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know if you know, like the FTV, are they fully liquidate? I think
they just had their last unlock.
Diluted, yeah.
Recently, I think they had their last unlock, or if they didn't, if they have like one more to go. So like it's almost fully diluted value. So that's pretty good, right? Yeah. And they've got a burn mechanism. Yeah. So that also helps. And they've got all these new layer 1s launching. So these sort of... I think these called them subnets, now they're calling layer 1s. Yeah. And so these are all launching and they're all creating new on-chain activity, which is burning more AVAX. So, you know, it's got good tokenomics, I would say.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard people say Avalanche for a while. And so that's why I'm looking for these off-piste ecosystems that like people are not looking at. Everyone's looking at the ones that I just mentioned. Yeah. And how sustainable they are, I don't know. What do you think about Base? Do you think Base is going to launch a token? Because lots of people are gambling on that, right? They're playing with all the protocol. They're switching their assets. They're trying their best to farm it.
I really like the Base ecosystem. I do a lot of stuff there. I think it's the ecosystem plays over there are massive. There's huge potential for like.
And there's Bitcoin DeFi now there.
Yeah, there's Bitcoin DeFi, and I saw somebody posted something earlier. It was like Aerodrome Finance, which is the big DeFi protocol on Base. They're now doing like the biggest volume of Bitcoin on chain. Of any chain, guys. So that's Base is definitely a place that's seen massive user growth, massive hype, massive excitement. But I don't think there's going to be a token or that there needs to be. Now maybe Coinbase surprises us one day and drops a token on us, but you know what? They don't need to. It's Coinbase. If you want exposure to Base, you want to have go buy the stock. There's a stock. It's called Coinbase stock. I own a bunch. It's a fantastic company. They've got great revenues. I own their stock. I'm bullish on their stock. But they don't need a token. And if they do launch a token, here's the thing. If Coinbase does launch a token, there's a Base token, it's going to be utter dumpster fire garbage, and you sell it the second you get the airdrop. Because it's going to be a governance token. It's going to be a governance token. You're not going to make any money on it. Look at Arbitrum, man. Arbitrum's been just slaughtered because there's no reason for the Arbitrum token. Oh, you're going to go govern the protocol? Have fun. Yeah, I'm going to go spend $500,000 buy a bunch of tokens to govern the protocol.
Game anyway. You can't make a difference.
The whales and the VCs and the team control the majority of the supply anyway. Exactly. So what's your vote going to even matter?
Yeah.
And do you really want to spend all your money trying to govern the platform? No, you want to make money. Come on. And tokens have to have real value capture. And the majority of these layer 2 tokens that have launched are just governance tokens and they capture no value at all. So farm the airdrops. Oh, I've loved farming some of those layer 2 airdrops, man. Some of them have been super lucrative. And then you sell them.
But if you were to narrow down into one specific trend that you think to perform the best, what would it be?
So that's a tricky question. Some of them are going to do like absolutely giant things. Got huge potential. So if you were to put a gun to my head and say, okay, you can only invest in one niche, probably then Pepe, it's a frog, man. Come on.
Meme coin mania, is it over or is it going to keep going for the whole cycle?
It'll go for the whole cycle, just like NFTs.
Okay, so I'm giving you 20 grand right now. Not Bitcoin, not ETH, not Solana. Where are you putting your money? Marry, fuck, or kill?
Fuck, it's got to be Charles, man. The beard. The beard, man. Come on, obviously.
Okay, so then let's flip that question around and say, which tokens are a big red flag to you in terms of ecosystem? Because at the end of the day, there's too many ecosystems, too many L1s, too many L2s. There's not enough consumer apps. So which ones, some people, to be honest, they all have their own armies on Twitter. But which ones are you just like, nope, not for me? And why?
Yeah, there's one that I've been talking about recently, and Charles, I just want to say I love the beard, man. I've been a big fan. I like Charles Hoskins, he's a very nice guy, but I gotta say, man, Cardano feels like wildly overvalued compared to all the metrics. The total value locked is abysmal compared to a lot of coins that have much lower market caps, but much higher total value locked. The on-chain DEX exchange volume is abysmal. The on-chain daily users, abysmal. Not saying Cardano's tech is bad. It's just that the users aren't really doing anything on chain, and the price of the asset does not match the actual users and on-chain activity. Like it's a multi-billion-dollar coin that has the user metrics of a coin worth maybe a few $100 million, which is interesting. The people just believe that much in Cardano and just hold it in spite of all that kind of stuff. But again, guys, we always want people to make money. I hope you make lots of money off Cardano, but that's how I see it right now.
Okay.
And I made a lot of money off Cardano back in the day. I got 50x on it, man. I love Cardano. great, but I'm just not seeing it this cycle. I'm not seeing the hype. When I get pitched stuff on a daily basis, so I'm sure you do too. And let me ask you this. When was the last time you ever saw anybody pitching something building on Cardano? It's literally been like 2021 was the last time I saw something. Yeah. And that was like one thing.
Yeah.
That tells you something, doesn't it? I get pitched stuff daily building on Solana, building on wherever else, based in all these places, right? All the popular places where the users are going. So there you go.
Yeah, and that's interesting. So I feel like Cardano, you're just either basically you just love Charles Hoskinson, and there's that whole he's got his own kind of gang that everyone kind of gets around. But I'm starting to feel like these new projects don't really have that so central figure as much. Like Sui doesn't really have a central guy. Aptos, I know Mo's around, but he's not like a Vitalik style status. I'd have to agree with you, to be honest. Obviously, I'm not that bullish on ADA, but I respect a lot of what Charles has done. Co-founder of Ethereum. You can't say anything.
I like Charles a lot. I always love talking to him.
Yeah.
And that's no shade on Cardano. It's just you can't fight the reality of where the metrics are right now. Maybe it just means it's super undervalued, but I feel like it's probably a lot overvalued right now considering the metrics, right?
Okay, so look, everyone's talking about reward assets, AI, gaming. What else? DePIN, DeSci, and the list goes on. But if you were to narrow down into one specific trend that you think I would put my money on that to perform the best, what would it be?
Perform the best? That's a tricky question. I think we're going to see. I think there's going to be a lot of performance across a lot of these assets. Like real world assets, I think are going to have their big moment next cycle. I think we're going to see the infrastructure built this cycle. We're going to see some real early mover winners there. But next cycle, I think is when it really takes off. It's just too much money to bring on chain too quickly. It's not going to happen this cycle. DePIN, some really cool stuff being built there. GameFi, games take years, man. Back in 2021, some of the games I invested in literally 2021 and 2022 are only now launching the games. A lot of them are still mediocre crap, and some of them are really amazing, and some of them are going to do absolutely giant things. GameFi's got huge potential. But if you were to put a gun to my head and say, okay, you can only invest in one niche, probably DeFi.
DeFi.
Yeah, DeFi, man. Because if you get the right DeFi tokens, okay, not Uniswap unless they turn the fees on. Come on, Uniswap. It's been years. Turn the damn fees on. Turn the damn fees on already.
Do it, man.
So like, there's some great tokens like Aerodrome Finance.
Yeah.
I'm a liquidity provider for that, dude. It's paying truckloads of money every week. I love it.
Which pool are you in?
The USDC Aero pool.
What's the percent?
Oh gosh, last time I checked it was like 75, 80%.
Damn.
So like crazy money. Trader Joe on Avalanche.
Yeah.
They're on a few other chains too. They're the biggest DEX right now on Avalanche. Real yield paid in USDC. Every single week I get a USDC payment, and that's from real yield, from real fees generated on their actual exchange. It's not some fancy tokenomic fluff inflation bullshit. It's actual money put in my wallet. I love that. Stuff like the big DeFi blue chips have been pretty battered. We look at MakerDAO or Aave. I mean, these are multi-billion-dollar protocols, but here's some interesting perspective for everybody.
Okay.
If you take MakerDAO, and you take Aave, and you combine the market caps of them.
Sky,
that's right. That's right. Sky now. Sky. We get it. That's right. If you take the market caps of these two coins and add them together, the most fundamental cornerstones of all DeFi, who have tens of billions of dollars locked, they've got a smaller market cap combined than Pepe. It's a frog, man. Come on. So
That's
DeFi,
crypto.
I think, is undervalued. And the key thing about these DeFi tokens is that you actually make money holding them, right? And there's actual real yields paid out. And there's a few other interesting ones. There's a newcomer to the market. It's called Orderly. So this is from the guys who launched Woo Finance back in the day. Big connections to market makers in Asia and stuff like that. And they've got liquidity services for perpetual exchange, decentralized exchanges. And so they're working with like 10 different DEXs or something right now. And so they collect fees and they pay token holders in USDC. Again, so real yield coins, right? So these become very attractive versus coins that just solely live on speculation, have no actual value for holding the tokens, stuff like this. So for me, DeFi remains very attractive, and I still have a decent percentage of my portfolio allocated to DeFi. And yeah, we play with other stuff. We're in DePIN, we're in real assets, we're in meme coins, we play around all different stuff, right? But if it was one, it'd be DeFi.
Meme coin mania. Is it over? Or is it going to keep going for the whole cycle?
It'll go for the whole cycle, just like NFTs did. And meme coins are the new NFTs. It's the same crap. And it's, go ahead.
Well, I was speaking to Yat at Istanbul Blockchain Week. I did a lovely fireside chat with him, and he was telling me that, in his opinion, meme coin was sucking up a lot of the NFT liquidity. It's the same kind of buyers.
Yeah.
And he was saying once they kind of cash out the profits, he sees another NFT run coming.
I can see that.
Do you see that as well?
It wouldn't surprise me, but...
And are you loading up on NFTs?
No, but I still, one of these days, I need to buy myself a CryptoPunk. I go on and off it every so I should buy one, should not, but I don't know. I'll buy one of these days.
It's like the Bitcoin of NFTs. Right?
Yeah, it's like buying a Rolex or something.
Yeah. Which I think you're wearing one, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. But yeah, you have to get the CryptoPunk at some one of these days. But here's the thing. NFTs and meme coins share one very similar and prolific problem. There's no barrier to entry to creating these things. And they're all just meaningless. So with NFTs, one of the problems that we saw was massive dilution, right? We had 50 different whitelists every single day for a new 10,000 mint profile picture thing, and very quickly it's a race to the bottom. Meme coins did that even quicker with Pump.Fun and stuff like this, which was just a slaughterhouse. Nobody made money on Pump.Fun except for like 50 dudes maybe in Pump.Fun. I never used it either.
I saw it for what it was straight away.
It's just a slaughterhouse. Yeah. And that's, but a lot of retail money went in there to get slaughtered. And that's what they did. And so you see all these new meme coins launching. The thing with a meme coin, you have to understand, when the bear market comes, it's going to go down 99.99%. The vast majority of them will never recover. The teams will simply quietly exit, and it'll be dead. Now, a few of the OG meme coins, right? So you might look at something like, obviously Dogecoin's not going anywhere, but like something like Pepe, for example. Pepe is probably going to be here next cycle, right? It's got the OG status now. It's gone far enough. But the vast majority of these new meme coins coming out, you can make money on the flip. You might see them do well for 6 to 12 months during a cycle, maybe. But then they're going to zero, guys.
Yeah.
Much like most of the NFTs did. And we still have OG NFT collections around, right? We have CryptoPunks, we have a whole bunch of other stuff that's still doing pretty good and has maintained value. And we've seen even run-ups in some of the value of this stuff recently. But But overall, the vast majority of that stuff is just going to go to zero.
Okay, so I'm giving you 20 grand right now.
Yep.
Where, not Bitcoin, not ETH, not Solana, for the best pumpamentals for our audience, Mark Davis, where are you putting your money?
Gosh. I was going to say Bitcoin, but I'm not allowed to buy Bitcoin.
Nope, it's too obvious.
It's the safe call, right? It's the safe call. That's why I always tell people when they're coming in, like, you know, especially if you're new, man, just keep it simple. Wait, do all the degenerate crap later until you actually figure out what's going on in the space.
Yeah, but we're not talking about.
I know. I'm stalling to buy time to give you a decent answer. Look, I'll tell you what. It's not a tiny market cap coin anymore, but I really like the meme coin Brett on Base. It is. If you think that Base is going to do really, really well, and I think Base is going to do super well this cycle.
Agreed.
It's like normie central. It's going to do absolutely awesome. Coinbase has done everything possible to make it wildly easy to get money onto Base. And like literally their new Bitcoin thing, you just withdraw straight to Coinbase or to your Base wallet. All you have to do is enter a Base address. So they made it super easy. Very, very easy.
So how much are you putting in, Brett?
All of
20K.
it.
All of it? Oh, you're all in.
You put it all in, man, because if you think that Base, okay, maybe
so you're a meme coin DJ then. After all this insightful chat, you let 20K in, Brett.
Let's do it. But that's because you see the narrative, right? You see the narrative on Base. Look, if you want to really spread it out across Base, then do 50-50 into Brett and Aerodrome Finance, right? But you got to be providing liquidity. Otherwise, you're just going to you're a victim of inflation. You have to participate in inflation, or you're a victim of inflation with Aerodrome Finance. But I think because there is no Base token, and the Base token, if it ever does come, will be a useless governance token that you just want to sell anyway. If you actually want to capture the upside on the Base ecosystem, it's those top play coins. So it's Brett, it's Aerodrome Finance, and there's a lot of other stuff that's launching on there, but most of it's too low market cap to even want to mention here.
Agreed. I know, like, I mean, EAK, we do like sports sponsorships. You know, they've been sponsoring like Euro 2024 football. They've been doing like a lot of the football clubs with one of my partners. Like, they're thinking above and beyond the crypto well, which is what, you know, Pudgies are doing. They're doing really well.
They sponsor some boat races in Monaco and stuff like that. And they've been doing all kinds of cool stuff. And they're a hardworking team, the Brett guys. And that's why if, you know, he gave me 20 grand today and that was, let's put it on Brett, man, because that's probably 20x between here and the top of the bull market if we get up to 200K Bitcoin.
20x on Brett.
20x on Brett.
From here, what's the market like? 700?
It's 700 million or something like that.
So you think you do 20x?
It easily could.
What's that? 14 bill?
Dogecoin went to 90 billion. Cardano went to 110 billion dollars without even smart contracts last cycle. Man, come on.
You're giga bullish on Brett, dude. Fuck, Jesus. 20x. Okay, on Brett. Okay.
Well, let's be conservative. Let's say 10x.
Okay.
Turn 20 grand into 200 grand.
Okay.
There you go.
This is a really great interview. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm gonna close it down with the final question because I know you're a busy man.
Let's do it.
And the final question is: marry, fuck, or kill? Justin Sun, Charles Hoskinson, your best mate, and Mr. Vitalik Buterin. Take it away.
Okay. Shout out to my wife real quick, by the way. Okay, so let's do. Fuck, it's got to be Charles, man. The beard, man. Come on. Obviously.
I'm gonna send this to him.
Yeah. A lot of love, Charles. So okay, we got a fucking kill left. We got to kill Justin.
Yeah,
sorry,
you can't
Justin.
kill Vitalik.
No, you're marrying Vitalik. You know, he's a mega nerd. He's solid, man. He's solid. You know, he's gonna be there for you. You know, so.
Also, I've seen those pictures with his pants and.
You know, dude's packing. So. Shout out to my wife.
Well done.
All right, let's cut it there. Look, Lark, thanks so much for joining us on this epic Token 2049 experience. We're on the EAK VIP boat. And I'll see you next time on EAK TV. Thanks you guys for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Take it easy.